'cause I just can't live without you. I was wrong, and I just can't live.
So that was Player by the song called Baby Come Back. This opens up the segue regarding the San Antonio Spurs um, fiasco regarding Kawhi Leonard and the situation going on there. And I don't want to get into too much detail about this because we all know we're tired of hearing about Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers, Kawhi Leonard to demanding a trade, the whole saga between him and Greg Popovich and his group not not being living up to the standards of the San Antonio Spurs as far as the injury and so on and so forth. So I'll try and cut it short. I think this is dragged long enough. I think that the reality is the Spurs aren't trying to let go, and they're like that one girlfriend or the boyfriend who's holding on to that dime piece, and she's basically out of his league, but he's doing everything he can to hold on to her, and he's gonna hold on to her until he's finally on with moving on to someone else. He doesn't want to go through that breakup and the heartache and all that, so he's doing the best he can to hold on to her. And that's what they're doing with Kawhi Leonard. They've had trade offers. He's already demanded a trade with the Los Angeles Lakers, and they've done their part of offering whatever package that was necessary. And it seems like the Spurs aren't listening to the Lakers, some kind of arrogance. And that's another thing. It's like that one really hot varsity guy who's dating his girlfriend, and the varsity guy really wants a hold of that girl that he's holding. And the guy that got that girl that out of his league doesn't want to let go for that varsity guy because he's one hot guy and he doesn't want to see that, especially in the same school, the same conference, seen walking around while that varsity guy, that really jockey guy, is dating that one girl that he was dating once. And that's exactly what's going on with the San Antonio Spurs. They don't want to let him go with the Lakers. They don't want to see the conference team. They don't want to face Kawhi Leonard 4 times in that same conference and compete for a championship. Because inevitably, that's what's going to happen. It's Kawhi Leonard going to be winning a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and possibly Paul George. I strongly believe if they get Kawhi Leonard, they will definitely get LeBron James. Question is Paul George going to tag along, seeing as his homie Westbrook? But let's get to the reality points that I brought up. I'm going to bring up regarding the trade scenarios. I only see one team besides the Lakers trying to make a possible trade and taking a risk, because we've already known that he's already requested to go to LA, whether it's the Lakers or Clippers, more preferably the Lakers. But the Celtics, I think, still have a huge shot on this. They do have the assets with the first round picks as well as the players in Tatum and Brown, who played extraordinary these playoffs. But I strongly believe that Danny Ainge is cooking up something to proceed and offer a trade for the San Antonio Spurs. And I think they'd be willing to listen, because not only is Kawhi Leonard not going to the West, he's going to the East, where they don't have to face him. They don't really have to see him. And it doesn't really affect, and it gives him the right to say "F you" to the Lakers. You know, we didn't do what the player Kawhi Leonard requested, nor aren't you getting LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard in the same team. But that's a huge risk. Kawhi Leonard's coming off an injury that basically took him out of all of last season, and he's not guaranteed to re-sign with you once free agency hits. So, and he's already said once free agency hits, he's going to the Lakers. So not only are you losing your assets, but you're also taking a risk of losing some of your best players that performed great this playoffs, this young talent, because I'm sure the Spurs are going to ask for either Tatum or Brown. And you're going to get nothing out of it after 1 year. But that's a huge risk, and I think there's pros and cons about it. You can go ahead and do it and have Kyrie, Kawhi, and Hayward in the same team. In the East, easily. Hands down, I see them making the Eastern Conference Finals. and advancing to the NBA Finals, advancing against Philadelphia. I don't think Philly has enough firepower to compete against that squad. Will that be enough when season ends and they play either Golden State or maybe Houston if they proceed and get LeBron James also a possibility, or they get better and they is it a guarantee to win an NBA championship? No, but it does get them a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals and a shot at the NBA Finals where Kawhi, you know, he's not going to get that guaranteed as much as it is in the West as it is in the East because it's an easier conference. We all know that. But then again, the Celtics have will have three players that all have something in common with Kawhi, Irving, and Hayward, and that's at the fact that they're all three of them are coming from serious injuries. Irving with the knee surgery, Hayward with that horrific and a season-ending surgery that happened in the first 5 minutes of the season, and also Kawhi, who was out for those hips. So those are three players that aren't 100% coming into their next season, and they're not guaranteed to survive all that. They're not guaranteed to be healthy to live up to that, and who knows if you even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's a huge risk of playing, of taking a risk of giving these assets to the San Antonio Spurs and getting nothing from it. And the possibility of actually losing Irving also, because Irving and Kawhi would be both entering free agency, and Irving's already speculated about going to the New York Knicks. So now you have Kawhi going to the Lakers, but you have Irving going to the Knicks. So that's another, and you're going to be left without any of your young talent. It means you have to start all over again. And that's another huge risk. So my point to this segue is you got to just suck it up, and you got to let your girlfriend go. San Antonio. You gotta let her go. I know you're not gonna be happy seeing her with the varsity hot dude with the college and all that, but at some point you gotta get your best assets, and the best assets are the Los Angeles Lakers. They do have Kuzma and they have Ingram, who are both talented 20, 23-year-old players, young, and they're always at the gym and they work hard, and you can get a first-round pick somewhere along the way too. Maybe if the Lakers get a third-round pick, but it's the best possible trade that you're gonna get, period. And you gotta eat up that pride, do what's best to end this, because not only do you have other players chipping in now with Bruce Bowen, David Robinson, and the uncle of Kawhi Leonard, it's like their girlfriend, now the girlfriend and boyfriend have their friends chipping in saying, well, he's breaking up with this one, and the reason he's breaking up was this one. It's all, they talk about guys not being dramatic at all. This sounds like a drama segue. Everyone chipping in about who said she said, and this is right and this is wrong. In the end, you just got to do what's right for the team and right for the club. And then I think this has to end. They're not going to drag it on. Everyone says this is going to be dragged on to the February. If that's the case, if the Spurs want to hold on to February, I don't see that happening. One, the assets that you'll be getting are simply not as good as they are now. Two, you take the risk of Kawhi not playing the entire season at all with that fake. Maybe he says, hey, I'm still injured and I'm not going to play another few months of it. How's that going to look for the league? How's that going to look for the commissioner to finally step in and say, hey, this has got to stop. Give a call to the Spurs. So my point is, suck it up, San Antonio, and just finally make that trade with the Lakers. It's inevitable. I don't see the Clips. They don't have Tobias Harris. The reality is the Clips don't have enough assets to give back to San Antonio. And if they don't want to trade him in the conference, they don't want to make the Lakers better, then what are you doing? What are you doing holding on to a guy that does not clearly stated he does not want to be there, and you're over here holding on to him for what? For what? Waiting for the best possible deal? No one's going to give you anything, San Antonio. Wake up. Smell the roses. You're not going to get a hotter chick than Kawhi Leonard. Period. You might as well settle for second best, third best, fourth best. Because you never were the hot varsity guy. You were always the quiet, the solemn, very keep to himself sort of guy. So for you to aim so high up there, it's out of your league, bro. Just settle down. Anyways, thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe underneath. I'd really appreciate all the audience, and thanks for your help.